To assess our involvement in this movement, we want to revisit what this movement is and find some ways in which we can look at our own lives and reflect on why we have come, what is our involvement, and where are we headed with it, if at all we want to go somewhere with it. So we will discuss a few points, and then we will also give some questions to all of you that you can post. That we mentioned it, to bring pen and paper. So let's just try to see, by show of hands, who brought pen and paper. 1, 2, 4. My teachers are like at least doing something. Okay. Maybe some of you just, it's Sunday, so you just go, you didn't see any poster. This is me giving you an out. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Can I just get a time check so that we know exactly how much time we have? Yeah, till 1. Until 1 o'clock. So we'll read famous verse, 4th chapter of Bhagavad, text 11. I'll read the verse and do the translation and read the first paragraph of the purport so that we can get into our discussion. Ye yatamam prapadyante tam stataiga bhajamyaham mama vatmanu vartante manusya pata savasaha. Please repeat. Ye, all who, yata, as, mam, unto me, papadyante, surrender, tan, them, tata, so, eva, certainly, bhajami, reward, aham, I, mama, my, vatma, path, anuvartante, follow, manusyaha, all men, and women, pata, O son of Peter, Sarvajna, in all respects. Translation and purport by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki. As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Peter. Please repeat. As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Peter. Purport by Srila. Everyone is searching for Krishna in different aspects of his manifestations. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is partially realized in his impersonal Brahmajyoti effulgence and as the all-pervading Supersoul dwelling within everything, including the particles of atoms. But Krishna is fully realized only by his pure devotees. Consequently, Krishna is the object of everyone's realization, and thus anyone and everyone is satisfied according to one's desire to have him. In the transcendental world also, Krishna reciprocates with his pure devotees in the transcendental attitude, just as the devotee wants him. One devotee may want Krishna as Supreme Master, another as his personal friend, another as his son, and still another as his lover. Krishna rewards all the devotees equally according to their different intensities of love for him. In the mature world, the same reciprocations of feelings are there, and they are equally exchanged by the Lord with different types of worshippers. The pure devotees, both here and in the transcendental abode, associate with him in person and are able to render personal service to the Lord, and thus derive transcendental bliss in his loving service. As for those who are impersonalists and who want to commit spiritual suicide by annihilating the individual existence of the living entity, Krishna helps also by absorbing them into his effulgence. Such impersonalists do not agree to accept the eternal blissful personality of Godhead. Consequently, they cannot relish the bliss of transcendental personal service to the Lord, having extinguished their individuality. Some of them, who are not firmly situated even in the impersonal activities, they are not admitted into the spiritual planets, but they are again given a chance to act on the material planets. For those who are fruitive workers, the Lord awards the desired results of their prescribed duties as the Yageshwara. And those who are yogis seeking mystic powers are awarded such powers. In other words, everyone is dependent for success upon his mercy alone. And all kinds of spiritual processes are but different degrees of success on the same path. Unless therefore one comes to the highest perfection of Krishna consciousness, all attempts remain imperfect, as is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd Canto, 3rd chapter, text 10. Akama savukama va moksha kama udarati tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Whether one is without desire, the condition of the devotees, or is desirous of all fruitive results, or is after liberation, one should with all efforts try to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead for complete perfection, culminating in Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada ki. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshware Vrishabhanu Sudadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Devacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Kam karoti vachalam bangum nangaite Yakripa tamam mande Shivum Ditam Haramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. As we are moving around in the different parts of the world, different rooms of the ISKCON house, then we are seeing that there is a lack, especially in the temples. And without looking far, charity begins at home. We are sitting in that very temple where some of us got so much nourishment over the years, and we've seen so many souls become trained in Krishna consciousness, inspired, and take up service. The temples are without occupants. They are lacking students. And this is symptomatic of some problems that are there. We'll look at, first of all, what was Srila Prabhupada's intention with creating the International Society of Krishna Consciousness. It will not be like some indictment on the devotees, relax. Don't feel too tense. But it's an assessment. Spiritual life may not be sort of quantifiable mathematically as accurately as we want, but we find that there are different parameters that can be used to assess oneself. One can assess their personal motivations of becoming involved. One can see socially, am I inspired by some social situation? And then also we will look at some traditional parameters of assessing. This is to help us to understand where we are, to see if we want to stay where we are, because we may be just comfortable. I'm okay, I don't need anything. Are we also being called to go somewhere? Do we want to go where we've been called? Also, are we getting what we signed up for? What are we meant to receive from this ISKCON? Is it being supplied? And then maybe we will walk away according to where you stand. You will have some questions to answer. So we will not be bashing anyone in particular, but we will allow each one of us with the super soul to try and see and analyze our own selves and our situation. So there are 7 purposes that Srila Prabhupada established ISKCON mainly to achieve. Maybe we'll start now. By show of hands, does any devotee know one of them? Even if you don't say them exactly, I also don't know them verbatim. Anyone want to paraphrase any of the 7 purposes of ISKCON? No takers. Kirtan. Chant. Yes, he's completely correct. Are we clapping because he's saving us from answering? You all have phones. Today there's some room to use your phone. Find the 7 purposes of ISKCON. Somebody's reciting something, Manavi? Yes, please. Just
systematically propagate the spiritual knowledge to society at large and to educate all people in the techniques of spiritual life in order to check the imbalance of values in life and to achieve real unity and peace in the world.
So number 1, systematically propagate spiritual knowledge to society. So the first purpose is facing the public. Srila Prabhupada has some spiritual knowledge that he wants to discriminate and give society to check the imbalances of the world. So therefore there are books Srila Prabhupada spent, sleepless nights, gallons of blood translating and publishing so that society can get this wisdom. The second one is also similarly public facing, to propagate a consciousness of Krishna, God, as it is revealed in the great scriptures of India, Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So this narrows down what is the spiritual knowledge. It is based on the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the foundation. Of course, many more scriptures are there, but the basis and the fundamental knowledge is found in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Now that Prabhupada has stated what he wants to do for the public, number 3, to bring the members of the society together with each other and nearer to Krishna, the prime entity, thus developing the idea within the members and humanity at large that each soul is part and parcel of the quality of Godhead Krishna. We can stop here to find out who are the members of the Society of Krishna Consciousness. It's quite an interesting one. I don't know if you've ever stopped to ask yourself, when did you become a member? Are you a member? What does it mean to be a member? Anyone here who considers themselves the member of ISKCON, a member of ISKCON? Show of hands. Okay. Some are not sure. That's also okay. Okay, I won't call you. I was like, former temple president is not sure if she's a member. Yeah, you came up late. Yes. Yes, I'm faulty senses. I didn't see you. No, she was there, ready. I may not be sure if I'm a member. Somebody may not be sure, yes. And I would like to know, those who raise their hands, what makes you know or think that you are a member of ISKCON? Yes.
I dedicate time to ISKCON projects.
You dedicate time to ISKCON projects. Okay.
Commitment to chanting the holy name.
Yes, some commitment to chanting.
Distribute Srila Prabhupada's books.
You distribute Srila Prabhupada's books. Anyone else?
When taking initiation, you get a registration number.
Did you get one? Oh, that's interesting. Yes. So your answer is almost something, it's close to what we're looking for. Generally, when there's a membership, anyway, anyone who's a member of a gym, or, wow, you're also a member of a gym. When you signed up there, well, there's definitely some forms, yeah?
Yes.
Was there a signature at some point?
Yes.
Some payment?
Yes. Yes.
Every year, or every month, every week? When?
Every month.
Every month. You've got a certificate and a serial number.
I think it's just a number.
Just a number. Any signature? Any payments that are due every month? So ISKCON forwarded that mood of signing up to life members. Life members were given some card at some point and they paid X amount rupees, and it started off, you're a lifetime member if you gave so many rupees. And then later it was sort of yearly. Still you have people who have cards, although the program is practically shut down. But they come up to us and say, Prabhuji, I want to come to the temple and stay there. I am life member. You may not know who they are, where they're from, but they will show you their card. Bang, I'm a life member. So that's their claim to being a member, and it makes sense. So since the majority of us have not been given any cards, we have not signed any papers, how are we to know if we're a member or not? So the traditional parameters of joining means by accepting a bona fide spiritual master and by surrendering to that spiritual master through initiation. This is now also the GBC resolution, that who is actually a member of ISKCON, who actually starts to have rights and wrongs. Meaning when you do something wrong, you are liable to some authority. So there's also joining by hearing the transcendental message. And you are interested and now you have come. So we want to also honor that we have come, but what have we come for? And once we have come, who are we to account to for being members? And have we come to do the work of the mission, the society, or have we come to fulfill our desires? It is natural for every jiva to have personal motivation. You don't have to explain that concept. Personal interest. It's not esoteric, no? Because this is how we generally go out in the world. You know, we look and we see what's in it for me. What can I get from this? So I will read the fourth one, which Chaitanya Prabhu gave to us. To teach and encourage the Sankirtan movement, congregational chanting of the holy name of God, as revealed in the teachings of Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As we're reading this, we are reflecting if we are also tuned in to these purposes. And also we're reflecting how much we are tuned into them. If we're not aware of them, we are noting down that there are 7 purposes for this International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And we will then look at them in our own time. Number 5, to erect for the members and for society at large a holy place of transcendental pastimes dedicated to the personality of Krishna. We are sitting in one such holy place meant for the transcendental pastimes of Krishna. The temples are the hub where the glories of Krishna are meant to be disseminated, heard, recited, meditated upon. And Srila Prabhupada created specifically this ISKCON to allow every living being the opportunity to engage in devotional service. Now, devotional service, that is also a subject that requires to be understood. What is devotional service? There are people who are, anyone here who's a public servant? Yes, but no. Could you tell us what it means to be a public servant?
It means serving the public without, but in my line of duty is to serve and protect the public at large.
Are you a policeman?
Yeah.
Okay, just watch yourselves. And feel protected. To serve the public. And in this case, Srila Prabhupada has already outlined his intentions, how he wants to serve the public. He wants to give them knowledge. And before we are members, also we are part of the public. And this is what Srila Prabhupada wants to give to us. Those who are members are also meant to serve the public and serve their eternal interest of reconnecting with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So this is important for us who are here. For now, public, have a good Sunday wherever you are. What is the first step that the acharyas give for taking part in this process of Krishna consciousness? Srila Rupa Goswami speaks that Ado Gurva Padashraya or Gurvashraya. The first item of taking part is to take shelter at the lotus feet of a bona fide spiritual master. Now, if we are wondering which spiritual master, I've heard there's so many. Isn't it? Sometimes that's the dilemma. Even currently, some devotees are sitting here wondering, in this spiritual supermarket, who will be my guru? Worry not. Initially, everyone who comes in has a spiritual master in his divine grace. Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada remains the guru for all the devotees of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. As long as this movement exists, he is known as the founder and acharya. Acharya meaning that he is setting the example, setting the standards of serving Lord Krishna. And that he is the via medium of the disciplic line, giving access to Kali Yuga rejects like ourselves. Own this. Kali Yuga has no use for us except to grind our human energy for no profit. It seems like it's profit, but at the end, material nature crushes all hopes by taking away our body. So at the end, there is no profit materially. It just chews you and spits you out. And then another character comes in your place and thinks, I'll do it my way, I'll be successful. Some rascals clap and think, this one is successful, that one is successful. And death comes, chop. Next. So, being persons born in this age, we are at a disadvantage because we're short-lived, we're quarrelsome, we're lazy, we're misguided, and above all, we're always disturbed. Srimad Bhagavatam states it very clear. Now, in that condition of life, what will benefit us in the human form of life? Then we have to go deeper. And to go deeper, we require the right gear. It's like if you want to go do some swimming in the ocean. Some people swim with their eyes. You know, they sit by the sand there and just like, it would be so nice. You know? I'm gonna learn. And others, you know, put your toes in, your feet, and as soon as the wave comes, run back to shore. And then there are some semi-heroes. Look at me, you know. They go a little further and lifeguards have to, you know, tell them to come back. Then there are professionals. They have boats. And they leave the shore altogether. They've got gear, oxygen masks, wetsuits, and the rest of it. And they can go into the ocean and go deep and explore. Now this devotional service is an ocean, and it's a very deep ocean. In the purport we heard that there are these relationships that are available for us with Krishna. These relationships are the sources of nourishment for the Kali Yuga regions, those who find themselves in the desert of material existence, trying to chew that which has already been chewed. Our ancestors, they tried this process of material happiness. They were defeated. Our parents, they're trying. We are trying. And we'll train our kids to also try to squeeze something out of it. But the Acharya is saying there will be no success on the material platform, and he is inviting us, come to the Anandam Buddhivardhanam, the ocean of ever-increasing happiness. And if you take my guidance, then I can help you to enter into this ocean and to experience the ever-expanding, loving reciprocations that Krishna is offering. So without this surrender to the spiritual master, what does it mean? It means to accept his instructions. The spiritual master, it is said, Sakshat Daritwena Samasta Shastre, that the spiritual master, the Acharya, should be worshipped as good as God. There goes the Kali Yuga mind protesting. This is the system. The representative of America, they have got an embassy down the street here. Ambassador, or whatever they call him, High Commission. That property, although it is in Pretoria, is considered the United States of America as soon as you enter that embassy. And that ambassador represents the authority of the United States of America. But that ambassador is not the president of America. If he starts saying that I'm the president, even the children will laugh because they know who the president is. Jananda, who is the president of America? Exactly. So even the kids know who the president is. Similarly, the representative of God, the ambassador of God, if he thinks he is God, then that is a joke. That is his foolishness. That is his illusion. Krishna is the supreme person. He has his representatives. So this item of surrender is important. That if you want to learn medicine, you have to sign up at medical college and you have to accept the professors that teach there. You have to follow the syllabus, pass the exams set by them. And then after a few years, when they have milked out enough money from your bank and have given you some skills, some know-how, they certify you, give you some certificate. You take a picture with your friends and family and you hang that certificate by your practice someday, just in case people don't know who you are. You put it there. So similarly, to know Krishna, to engage in devotional service successfully, such that you awaken some love which attracts the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one has to learn that science according to the educational structure of Krishna. And so, in education, there is discipline and authority and rules and regulations. These rules and regulations are not there out of hate. They hate the students. Therefore, they tell them to come to class at this time and leave it, and they want this assignment. No. It is so that the students can prove themselves worthy of being certified in that particular field. That they are able to be disciplined and take up the studies and show, demonstrate proper aptitude, and finally that they are ready to apply that for the public. Especially doctors. You don't want someone who's taking chances. If I start advertising that I'm doing some heart operations, already you're just like annoyed even at the idea, right? It's like a waste of your brain cells, even hearing it. Because you know, no, sorry. Maharaj, that's not you. So, there are also the qualifications of the bona fide spiritual master. They are listed in the scriptures. What is a bona fide spiritual master? That we must be acquainted with. So that we don't choose just somebody who knows the uniform of the teachers. He carries a nice stick also. Maybe some nice shiny tilak, big neck beads. Whatever it may be. And then we accept them as doctor. Next point, we want to just highlight that the progress is dependent on the attitude of the practitioner. If you will come to the school and you think that class is about you, some of us were those type of students, you sit at the back, you start your own conversation with your friends, and these days, kids are on their phones and the teacher is speaking and they're not focusing. And then when they fail, some parent wants to come and chastise the school. How can they'll blame the teachers. Any teachers here with this experience? Please share some experiences with learners and parents.
Well, their child's performance is dependent on you, and if they don't put in the effort, then you're targeted as being a bad teacher, even though you did the work. But time, place, circumstance, it affects everything.
Yes. So in this case, we get to see that the teachers have responsibility for the students. And also the students have a responsibility to the teacher. Srila Prabhupada gives the example that if the man is potent and the woman is fertile, then when they unite, a child can be conceived. It's a two-way street. Now, when we don't take the education, we never know what the school owes us. You may be here for a year or two and just sort of coming around and you don't know what's due to you. Or you may have taken initiation. If you don't read the books, you don't know you're initiated into what and what should happen in your life to see that you are getting reciprocity with your service and whatever chanting you're doing, whatever donations you're doing, whatever pilgrimages you're taking. Therefore, this reading the books is like if you want to buy gold. It's the paradox of knowledge. That if you want knowledge, you have to have knowledge of what is knowledge. So if you want to buy gold, you must know what gold is. Otherwise, somebody will sell you just like tin, gold-plated tin or whatever it means. So this is gold, man. But now if you don't know what is gold, then you will take it. And those who know gold will laugh at you when you come to try and trade your gold. So how we know what we should do, who we should approach, what the process is found in these books. All the classes that are given by different speakers are meant to educate us on this process so that we can get to see if we are moving or not. So the traditional parameters are this. Initially, there's some faith, Shraddha, but it's very soft. Maybe you're curious, you just come around. Then when you come around, that is called sadhu sangha. You associate with the devotees. So now, you may not know what is a saintly person. You can hear about it in that association. And then you get engaged in service, bhajana kriya. So here's one aspect. If I consider myself a member, what is my service in this movement? We can go and reflect. What is my service? Meaning, there's some time I'm putting, some energy, and there's some accountability I have to someone who is meant to be accounted to in this movement. When we don't have service, it is as though we are not connected really, because we heard here the purposes: to propagate, to erect a place, means to chant the holy name, to disseminate knowledge. So bhajana kriya means we become engaged, and then our experience of Krishna deepens. As our experience deepens, we start to be confronted with what's in the heart. You may remember the time when you discovered Bhakti. How were you feeling in the association of devotees? How were you feeling in the kirtans? What were your thoughts at prasadam? The prasadam, is in kirtan, they stand the test of time. Chanting the holy name on your own, reading the books, doing some worship. That, if we are judging our involvement based on how we feel, because that can be there. I'll get into now some of the questions that I wanted us to look at. So if we're not measuring our progress based on this, what the scripture provides, Shraddha, Anata Nivriti, we're cleaning the heart. When we're cleaning the heart, we have to come to a point where we develop some taste. The taste means that we like to do the services. And then after that is a Shakti. Then we are experiencing some deep attachment to the feeling that we get when we serve Krishna. It's no longer about how I am feeling, I like the service. But now there's a feeling knowing that this pleases Krishna. Once we start seeing Krishna as the benefactor of our service, now we are moving towards the realm of love. Because love is selfless. It's about the beloved. It's not about me. You can try to examine the love of the parents. If you considered how you felt in your service to your children, do you think they'd still be alive today? If it was about how you felt, the baby's crying in the middle of the night in winter, and I feel tired, and sleepy. Forget this cry baby. I don't want to cook, I have a headache. they'll see for themselves. No, because the child is important to us and we have affection for the child, then we sacrifice our own pleasures, our own comforts for the sake of the child. So we can also see, where is my sacrifice? In what area am I sacrificing my own personal comfort and enjoyment for the sake of Guru and Krishna? When that becomes more and more, not even a sacrifice, but your joy, then you know that there is some love that is really growing in the heart. So now, I have some points that I brought, areas that we can look at, just to evaluate our sincerity, our authenticity in joining, and especially in light of the goal of Krishna consciousness, which is, what is the ultimate goal of Krishna consciousness? Now making it more clear.
Go back to Godhead.
Go back to Godhead. Krishna Prema, love of God. Always remember Krishna, don't forget him.
Eternal service to Krishna.
Eternal service to Krishna. So this is a whole data bundle. It's together. There's love of Krishna, then there's service to Krishna. Then back home, back to Godhead is either back to Goloka or even by your Krishna Prema, your consciousness, you are back home to Godhead, even in this life. Even in Pretoria, one can be back home, back to Godhead, when Krishna is now the object of their affection. So, point number one, we want to assess our motivation. You can write that. Why am I attracted to this path? What initially drew me to this community? You can know, was it the philosophy? I'm looking for knowledge. I like this, what you're saying. Is it the culture? I like dhotis and kurtas. I like saris. Or I'm a Hindu. Or I'm attracted to Eastern culture. Maybe the people that you met. Maybe it's the music. Or maybe you needed somewhere to be disciplined. You like the discipline. Like I remember, and it's wild now when I think about it. When the devotees, I remember Shivandavan Prabhu, he mentioned that, he was a brahmachari for 7 years. He said, I've been celibate for 7 years. I was a student on campus. And that just blew my fuse. Like, what? Why? But then, when I went back to campus, I was thinking, because I know my mind and I know the minds of my friends. And in youth and at that period, this prime preoccupation is how to get sex. And here's this man, he's healthy, he's intelligent, he says he's been celibate for 7 years. Now, the maths is starting to ring in my head, like, what does he have that he can forgo this? He must have something better than sex. This was my estimation. And in some greed, to get over this one hook that's just being dangled every time, I wanted to find out what's he got. So yes, it may be that you want to be disciplined in some area and you found that the devotees can help. Okay. Am I seeking spiritual truth or some emotional comfort? I don't know if we get the difference between these two. Just the truth so that I can apply, or I want peace. I want to feel together. And spirituality sometimes is seen like that. Just, I don't want to be bothered. I want to be peaceful. I want to have control of my mind. Or am I looking to serve God, or do I want God to serve my desires? can note that all of this is just an assessment. Don't feel already sort of persecuted by it. And Krishna notes the bulk of us, and he says this is pious, come to him, come to devotional service because we have our desires that we're trying to fulfill. And Prabhupada applauds that if we're coming to Krishna to fulfill those desires. So then we can look at it over time. Is that changing? Am I staying in the space where I'm trying to get Krishna to be my servant? Or am I moving towards trying to serve Krishna? Then we want to see if our goals are aligning with what the institution is offering. I may be just interested in making more money. This would be nice to see. Who wants to make more money, dear devotees? Krishna is listening. If you don't raise your hand, don't blame him later. I'll ask one more time. Who wants to make more money? Yes, the truth has come out. Even Jananda wants to make more money. So, this is not a fault that we want to be materially successful. We're in the material world. However, when we come here, do we find an emphasis on becoming materially successful and making more money in the classes that we hear, in the books that we read? No. So there again now, I may have these desires, my goals, if they're not aligning with what's being taught. How do I reconcile that? So that means there must be some active consultation. Hey, I came here to make this one. And here people are telling me, slow down there, or whatever they may be saying. You know, we have to be clear. How do I feel about the idea of surrender? The idea of service? Am I willing to make the Lord the center of my life, not just a part of it? So Prabhupada was joking with the devotees. They were chanting japa. He chanted, finished the beat, took the beat back and put it aside. Now I can do any damn thing I want. And we feel like that. I'm done now. Now I can get on with my life. We say like that, real life. When we again say, no, material life is not our life. It's not our real life. We're spiritual beings having a material experience. Quote it.
Spiritual beings having a material experience.
Yes, it rolls off the tongue very nicely. We're spiritual beings having a material experience. That sounds nice. You can, it's a quotable. But am I living like I'm a spiritual being, just having some material experience? Or I think the material experience is my real life, and then I've got some time because I'm Hare Krishna that I must. And I promised the Guru in 1996 or more that I would do this. So we have to check where our heart is. Next part is self-honesty. Am I honest about my current habits, my attachments? And am I honestly looking at the contradictions in my words and in my behavior? Can I acknowledge my own ego and pride without being defensive? Students come to teachers and they say, I want to learn this or the other. And then when the teacher wants to teach, then they want to fight, argue. Want to help the teacher how to become a teacher. Then you go to the doctor, You prescribe some medicine and then you want to tell the doctor, hey, no, me, I don't take 3 times daily. Yeah, I only have time in the evening to take medication. So this 3 times daily, will that work? No. And we are puffed up. It's such a sad thing that our ego is. It's really like a big stumbling block. Srila Bhakti Swami Maharaj wrote a book, The Beggar. I think it's the first one or the second one, where he speaks from the position of the false ego. I mean, that book is so difficult to read when you pick it up, because there's Maharaj, such an effulgent, dynamic, wonderful, pure devotee. But he's speaking in this language where it's just like, what is this? Who are you? But for our benefit, that we can understand that although we say we want, but we actually, no, we don't really want. We have ideas of being associated with this movement, what it's good for. We have ideas how far the teacher can help me. Otherwise, I've got the other things figured out. I mean, I graduated university. Some of these sadhus are dropouts. Yeah. We wonder, what can he teach me? So, am I open to being corrected? Am I open to being guided and even challenged? Number 4. Now this is the community, ISKCON. We have to check, is this the right Sangha for me? If we already know what we want. Because if also we haven't heard enough, we may not even know what we want. And we cannot recognize if we're getting it or not. Do I feel spiritually nourished by the devotees I've met? Because sometimes you are with devotees. But you can be more material conscious than when you think you're with non-devotees. But at least we are devotees together in Maya together. Yeah? Some association of devotees. Then it feels better. I'm not just going deviant alone. I'm with a fellow devotee. Hare Krishna. Do I respect the leadership and find their example inspiring? Bhagavatam says, don't become a leader, don't become a father, don't become a guru, don't become a teacher. If you cannot liberate your dependence from the cycle of birth and death. So in ISKCON now, there are many committees, many ministries, many departments, many posts. Because we don't have so many people, we are recruiting, we are looking for, and so we become leaders, authorities. But are we reflecting the values of this movement? Are we inspiring faith in those who encounter us in leadership roles? Or are we crushing the faith of devotees? Am I joining to find belonging, or am I joining to grow spiritually? And can both of these coexist in this Sangha? So we check. What do we want? Last 3, commitments. What am I willing to give? See, love is giving. Last is taking. Love is giving. Giving and giving until Krishna says, I cannot even repay you for what you have done for me. That the love that you're giving, the service that you're giving, that just by your service to me, even if I had a lifetime of Brahma, I cannot repay you. This is the gold standard. That Krishna becomes defeated by love. And he tells the gopis, I cannot repay you for your love. Let the glory of your love be your payment. So that is the realm of giving. This is what we approach. And Prabhupada has created this movement to help us get into this giving. This is devotional service. Last means we are always looking, what can I get out of this situation? And currently our movement, because it has grown so big, we have an imbalance between those who have come to give service and those who have come to take from this movement. Therefore, it becomes even a burden for some sincere souls who are trying to offer service, because it's the same devotees doing the service again and again and again, until what is liberating becomes like, what did I do signing up for this? We have a symptom, what's called devotees get pride. So yes, commitment. What sacrifices am I ready to make in terms of time? What habits I want to give up? Relationships I want to establish for my spiritual progress? Am I willing to stick around during difficult phases? Not just the euphoric highs. Yeah, I'm there for the kirtan and prasadam. Ezinye angizingeni. Can I commit to practices like chanting, reading, and associating regularly, even though imperfectly? Because it's in what we do that we communicate who we are and what our values are. We can profess many things, but what we do reflects actually our commitment in who we are. So these basic tenets of hearing and chanting and serving with devotees are the key for actual spiritual advancement, if you are going to go towards Krishna Prema. But since we are assessing ourselves, maybe that's not our goal, so don't worry about this part. However, every action has a reaction. So if I will come into the spiritual association simply just to exploit, to take, to wallow away time, then it's dangerous. You may disturb saintly persons, and saintly persons are very dear to Krishna. And we don't want to put ourselves in that dangerous position where we can offend devotees, and therefore offend the Supreme Lord, by not understanding where we are and not learning how to live and act as Vaishnavas, devotees. Intention. Is my desire genuine or transactional? I think we've belabored that one. Would I continue even if no one praised or recognized me? Am I secretly bargaining with Krishna? If I serve you, Krishna, then you will do this and that for me. Krishna is your friend, your father, your mother, your everything. So this bargaining with Krishna, talking to Krishna, that is natural in any relationship. But after some time, we should know who Krishna is, what he's capable of. That we come to trust him and know him, that we are not now in business with Krishna. Prahlad Maharaj said like that, after Lord Nishingadev had killed Hiranyakashipu, and the demigods couldn't pacify Lord Nishingadev, they were afraid of him. And they went to Lakshmi Devi, hey, this is your husband, please calm him down. She's like, hey, I don't know this husband. I don't want to risk it. And then Brahmaji said, hey, Prahlad, look, he's angry because of your father. And he came to save you, so you go and pacify him. Supreme anger. You've seen Lord Nishingale, very fearsome. At that time, he's bloodied up with all the blood of the demons. He was just tearing apart. He's hissing. Prahlad Maharaj, oh, yeah. Directly to the Lord. And the Lord is charmed by how this young boy has no fear, only love for him. And he wants to give him blessings. Prahlad is, brushing his head, sitting on his lap. What do you want? What benedictions can I give you? And Prahlad Maharaj said, my dear Lord, I am not worshipping you to get anything from you. Otherwise, I would not be considered a devotee, but a businessman, and that I'm not. So we can see when love has evolved, that then it's not for everything I have to do, I have to go to Krishna to check what I'll get. Instead, we simply want to serve Krishna for his pleasure. Last one is our long-term vision. What kind of person do I want to become? So there we can check, if I continue on this path sincerely, what kind of consciousness will I develop? Now, how will you know? That we must study the pure devotees in the scriptures. Srimad Bhagavatam is full of so many devotees who demonstrate the consciousness of exalted spiritual life, of love, of dedication. When we see how they react to the different tests of life, challenges, then we become attracted. Srila Prabhupada, how old was his body when he left India? 69. He is living in Vrindavan, translating, writing, publishing, distributing this back to Godhead. He's struggling in the heat of Delhi. He's trying to get a ticket to go to America. He finally gets one on a cargo ship. He knows nobody. He just has an address of a Gopal Agara. And he says almost a whole year in the winter, which was recorded in the history of New York, was the coldest winter ever experienced. He's walking around in Aladdin rubber shoes. You've seen those shoes? So then you see what a lover of God is prepared to do to please his Lord. When we study the Vaishnavas, then we can become attracted and see, do we want this type of consciousness? Is it attractive to us? That will help us when we face our own struggles. Is Krishna consciousness shaping me into a more humble, loving, and grateful being? Am I prepared to measure success by how much I'm able to serve and remember Krishna? Or by how many people are paying obeisances? How many gardens do I have now? What committee am I chairing? What position do I have? Sometimes out there in the world, nobody honors us for our hard work and the positions we have. They envy us like anything. Then we come to Krishna consciousness, and then we also get a chance to have some post where, now devotees will listen to me. They will honor me because I'm a devotee. So we have to check these things in ourselves and pray to the Supreme Lord to help us to see correctly where we are and inspire us to take the necessary steps to course correct, to reinforce good habits, to give up those things that are holding us back, so that our sincerity becomes more and more pure, purified and focused. Then Srila Prabhupada will definitely be pleased because he created this whole society for us to grow spiritually. So these are some words for all of us to consider, and so that we can get the gifts of Srila Prabhupada, get ultimately the highest gift. Srila Prabhupada ki Gaura Premanandi.